the training wheels are off and we're like, okay, go, just go, man, go. December new moon, December 30th. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. This is G. We're in the month of December, and we are looking at talking about thinking and plotting and planning for the new moon, the December new moon. Can you see it? Let me get my big head off of there for you. There it is, December new moon, December 30th. That's the date of the new moon. It's on a Monday. The time of this new moon is 4:26 p.m. That's in the central time zone. So you want to adjust for where you live whenever there is a new moon. That's important because there is a window of opportunity. We call it the hours of power. It's the new moon time. And that's a time where we're literally working with the energy. We're being smart and working with the law of attraction. It actually has hours of power and it's connected to the new moons. Not that you can't use that sort of mindset and thought and purposefulness and intention any other time, but there's more support for it on new moons. All right. So we'll talk about that in a little bit, but we're going to get into the nitty gritty of this new moon because it's quite serious. And what I love about this new moon is when we have intentions for new moons, it's because we want to bring something into our life. Like we have an idea, we have a vision for what our life, how we want it to look, what we're striving for, what we're working towards. We have goals, right? We have goals. And so usually when you have goals, you should have steps. There should be like, okay, I have to do this and then this and then this. And it's like we're climbing the rungs on a ladder. And is provided that we touch each rung and do what needs to be done, we climb up methodically, slowly. We don't step on anyone's head or put our foot on anybody's back or kick down at somebody or try to cheat somebody. As long as we do the diligent work that needs to be done and we stand by our ethics and we follow the rules. That's really this sort of a new moon. But with intentions, it's I am trying to accomplish something. Like I have this dream, but at the same time, for it to become real, I have to figure out how to make it tangible, how to make it exist in my world. And that's where the new moon plays a pivotal role, especially a new moon like this. You hear me say different things about different new moons, like some are more powerful. Ooh, this is a sweet one, or whatever. But when we have one with a Saturn ruling it, with the planet Saturn ruling it, we are really thinking long term. It's not dreamy, which new moons are kind of dreamy, right? But they don't always have to be. It doesn't have to be this, oh, this is my fantasy and my wish on upon a star type of thing. And it doesn't have to be like that. It could be really, well, material, financial, long-term stability. What's wrong with that? Like that's making sure that I'm safe and secure and I can take care of myself and I will have a place to live and I'll have food and I'll have clothing, I'll have a roof over my head and I'll be okay. Like I'm secure materially, tangibly. So I have the funds, all the things that you need, but it's the things you can hold in your hand, right? It's not about greed. Although for some it could be, they could take this and be like, oh yeah, man, I want it all. I am king of the world. I am the goat. I want it all. I want to accomplish. I want to be the one on top. And if that's your cup of tea, if that's like your thing, okay, well, then you can use this that way if you want. Like that's the beauty of it. It's free will all the time, free will involved. Long term, we have to think my financial security, my tangible financial security. All right. We have to think, what are my goals? And that's going to be different for every single person. Okay. Definitely is. And I want to add here too that whatever it is you're building, sometimes we're building a relationship with ourself, or we literally have a partner. It could be professional. It can be both. It can be a private, personal thing that turned professional and vice versa, usually the other way, right? It could be that too, but we're building something together. Now, this is just me adding it can be something to do with somebody else. There can be that part of it because many times when I look at people's charts, Saturn energy, Capricorn energy is that 10th house placement. Okay. It's the ice, I'm sorry, it's the MC, it's the midheaven. So when we speak about the midheaven, we talk about that like it's on the world stage. It's big. It's what I will be known for. And when we say that what I will be known for, it doesn't have to necessarily mean, I'm famous or infamous, right? It can just be simply, oh, this was so and so. Yeah, that was their jam. That was their thing. If I had to connect one word with that human, that was them. Yep, that was them, right? So for others, it's what they're building, but sometimes what they're building can be whatever it is that requires a long-term thing. It's something they're building that's going to last for a long time. Sometimes it's the till death do us part thing. Does that make sense? And normally for some people, they can get married, right? Because they start getting very serious about their future and the security of their future. There are people who've known each other for a long time. They were casual friends. Then they got a little bit more, connected and personal and private and intimate. They always had a good time, but neither one of them ever wanted to get married. But then, like as they started to age, they weren't as young anymore. Neither one of them were it, playing the field didn't interest them anymore, right? They were more settled. They were very much more professional minded. So the idea of them tying the knot came up. And it was like, it makes sense. We've been together for so long, even though they weren't real thrilled about having to cohabitate. And this is just a story. This is just an example, right? But when you start considering things seriously, like, I might not always have the great health I have. I might need somebody. There might be that partnership thing as you age where it's like, well, gosh, on days when I'm not feeling good or if I need help, it'd be great if I had a partner, right? It'd be great if I had someone to go through this life with, or someone to share what I've built with, even, right? Or someone to build, to grow old with me. Saturn is about time, growing old, something that lasts a long time. So many times for some folks, it can be that. All right. It can be they're building this long term thing because together, well, if you get married, you get a house, you have a family, you're literally materially, physically building then off of that, aren't you? Sure. You might acquire some assets, you might have multiple homes, whatever, right? Um, so that's just a piece of this. That doesn't mean it's for everybody. It's just a piece of the meaning of it. Normally with Saturn energy, there's not a lot of fantastical, super idealistic, or dreamy energy connected to it because Saturn is the tangible, the reality. It's cold and it's hard, right? A lot of folks, some folks don't like Saturn. They're like, "Oh, it's mean, it's cruel, it's difficult. It's the teacher, but it teaches us our hard lessons." You can't cheat with Saturn. You can't cheat and it delays things. We feel like, "Oh my god, how much longer do I have to work at this? I keep trying and trying and trying." And it just, it's almost like it demands for us to submit because it says you just have to do it this way. And if you don't, well, I'm Simon. Simon says, and you have to go back to the start line. And then you go back to the start line, you do it, you start again, whatever that thing is that you've been working for by piecemeal over a long period of time. That's how you can kind of recognize Saturn. Some even say it's your vocation. It might be a thing you do that you don't even get paid for, but you're just really, you're kind of driven to do it It's that area of your life where you are the goat, where it's your duty and responsibility. A goat climbs, and it just keeps climbing little by little. If it goes, got to go horizontal, however it's got to do it, right? And it seems to do the impossible. The impossible. It's like, how the hell? So, with that, what I will add to this, of course, is the degree, because the degree matters a whole lot. The degree of this new moon is 9 degrees, right? It's when the sun and the moon are together exactly. 9 degrees, 43 minutes in Capricorn. The sun is the masculine energy. That's when we've got the father, and the moon is the mother. When the mother and the father get together, they can make a baby. They can make something. They can make it material and tangible and become a real part of our world. It doesn't have to just be a dream. And that word dream is part of this. Dream big is what the number 9 means. Dream big. Saturn will keep you grounded. Capricorn energy will keep you grounded. It'll say to you, dream big, but then ask yourself, is that realistic? And you won't have to literally ask yourself. You won't have to erase that dream off of your list, because Saturn, Capricorn energy will be like, well, come on now. Is that realistic? Sure, you might be able to, chop that in half, and you might be able to accomplish that in 5 years or 10 years. But do you think you're going to have that like next week? Right? That's kind of bold. A little bit realistic means this is, remember, a long-term dream, a long-term goal. And I'm saying dream because of the number 9 and the degree, Jupiter. It can be dreamy. It can be fantastical. It can be even a little idealistic. That's the Jupiter energy. But it's all the other Jupiter keywords too. It's the beliefs about my future. So there can be confidence. I'm liking this. There can be confidence. I am confident now. I have an amount of confidence I didn't have before. It's my duties and my responsibilities that I feel like I can take on now, even because Jupiter can give us that confidence. Jupiter can be optimistic, and it's ready for an adventure, even. It likes to explore. It likes to experience and immerse itself in other cultures. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. That's immigrants, right? I heard a funny story, not even a story. Somebody was yelling at, go back to the country you came from. And here the whole time, they're screaming and bitching this at an indigenous American, telling them to go back to their country. Right. So Jupiter can be like that. Not that it has to be somebody bitching at somebody, but we know that there's just been a lot of hatred, a lot of hate speech, a lot of purposeful misinformation that's been very harmful. That's been very, very harmful. Well, Jupiter, guess what? It is the number 9. And so the number 9 and Jupiter and Saggy are all part of this. And it becomes about beliefs, the beliefs about my future and immigrants and immigration. It's also unconscious or subconscious judgments that I have about anything, that you have about anything, that each of us has about other people. Whatever our beliefs are, there might be some that we have that are literally holding us back in whatever way that may be. But when you think of 9 degrees and beliefs, it might be your own beliefs that are standing in your way of accomplishing your dreams. And because that's 9 degrees, it could be your own religion and your own spiritual beliefs that are standing in your way from accomplishing your own dreams. It could be that indigenous American. It could be that Spanish-speaking person. It could be, the person from Argentina. It can be the person from wherever the hell they're from, right? That saves your life. I mean, that's how life works. You never know when you're going to need a helping hand, and you never know where that hand comes from. You never know how the divine, number 9, Jupiter, you never know how the divine will bring help or assistance or provide for you. It's time for me to stop preaching. So the whole preachy part is this though, and Saggy is the preacher. It's the people of the cloth, it's the teacher, it's institutions as far as teaching institutions and higher higher connections with higher education. So whether you're learning, going to extended education, university, college, this is all that. That's the number for it, and Jupiter is that ruler of that. Sagittarius. Okay? Mercury's in Saggy. And what planet rules Saggy? I gave the answer away already. Put it in the comments in case you didn't get it. There's a mutual reception here with that degree and with where Mercury's located. Plus, we still have Jupiter sitting over here in Gemini. So Mercury and Jupiter are always talking. There's always an open line of communication going on because we still have Mercury sitting over there in Saggy and Jupiter sitting over here in Gemini. There's a mutual reception that's been going on. All right. So there's that dream element, but it can also be too dreamy, too fantastical, unrealistic. But because it's in Cappy, that Jupiter and Gemini, unrealistic, you know, fake news, purposeful misinformation, twisting and manipulating information. But this Jupiter, this degree, way more realistic, way more factual. It's bringing the receipts. It's Capricorn. Saturn is right here in Pisces. That's what we needed to look at. Saturn in Pisces at 14 degrees. Pisces energy and Saturn don't get along real well. All right. Saturn is no longer retrograding. And what happens is when Saturn was retrograding, because Saturn's all about rules and restrictions and slowing things down, with it out of the retrograde, Saturn is kind of weak here. So our ability to dream, Pisces, to dream big, is actually the training wheels are off. And we're like, okay, go, just go, man, go. But take the training wheels off. We got to keep ourselves in check because it's Pisces and it can be illusional and delusional and a little unrealistic sometimes. Okay. But not on this day. Not on this day. But the connection to the dreams and the thoughts of my future and the fantasy, what I always wanted, right? There is money connected and values and desire and how I receive because it's Saturn at 14. That's the degree of Venus. So women are part of this. Feminine energy is part of this. The food, the planet, my creature comforts are part of this. The long-term financial security. There's a deep, strong connection between the Saturn in Pisces and this new moon in Capricorn at 9 degrees. So Jupiter comes up big again with the thoughts of my future, the optimism, maybe learning a new language, maybe going back to school, student debt relief back on the table and happening. Because Jupiter, the ancient ruler of Pisces. You see, Jupiter comes up a lot of ways in this chart. So dream and dream big. The orb for this is going to be larger than usual because we have objects at 7 degrees and we have objects at 11. Pallas Athena, strategist, thinking for the long term. She's a general, feminine energy. She's super smart. She's great with maps and strategizing about the long-term material and tangible and Cappy. I'm really happy. She's creative. She brings a creative element to the long-term success. Success and recognition is Capricorn. All right. Vega is here as well. So I feel this is very powerful. I feel that for anybody who's got something in their chart, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 degrees, especially if you have multiple objects, this is big. This is big. And if you're paying attention, you might notice something even on the day of or even the few days before because moon cycles are strong and success is Capricorn energy. Recognition is Capricorn. There might be a little bit of that coming your way. So for some folks, there might even be a payout. For some folks, there might be a raise, a reward. They might be given a new job title. They might, you're going to be in a different department. Now you're going to be the boss, possibly even because Jupiter is boss energy. Some folks might get a boss. You follow? Because Capricorn is my work, my tangible material career and work as well. So I like this new moon. I like it a lot. Hours of power, December 30th, 4:26 p.m. It is the 8 hours prior to the time of this new moon, not after, prior. So you figure that out for the time zone you live in, and the hours of power. That's when you want to set those intentions, whether you light a candle, write up a list, do a little ceremony, pray, meditate, focus, go for whatever that thing is you do that can help you to pinpoint and focus on something. This one's not going to be super dreamy and all about music and sound. There might be a little bit of it, but because it's Capricorn and material and tangible, we might be like writing things down, right? But we might even be working with something material and tangible. There might be partnerships involved, like we're actually doing something. There's a lot of energy to focus on our goals and what we're building. Capricorn's also corporations, government, and business energy. So, you got questions, you comment below, you let me know how I can help you. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye. Dream. Dream big. Dream about what you want for your future and what it is you're willing to build for your material, tangible financial security.